So in this episode, we'll be talking about how to draft an email when you're approaching a professor for a PhD position.
It is very crucial that this is the first piece of thing that a supervisor is going to read.
If you have an institute email address where the domain is from an institute or from a university, always use that to mail professors.
So never ever use respected sir. You have to write dear and the name of the professor, let's say Dr. XYZ, something like that. With the college name, you also have to put the link of the college.
In second paragraph, you mention your interest. In what topic are you interested in what project of that professor or in what field of that professor.
So in the third paragraph, we have to justify why we are a good candidate for this specific project. Start with your master's thesis.
So you can mention that you have worked on this certain kind of instruments.
In the next paragraph, you should connect your research experience with the project you're applying. Convince them more that, okay, you'd be a right fit for your project.
Close the email in an open-ended way so that you should ask the professor for a potential meeting.
Include all those things that you are attaching CV, you are attaching cover letter. And if you are sending emails to so many professors, then you have to change the interest.
I would suggest never use mail track. There are these third-party agents in which you can track the mail of whether the professor is opening your mail or those things. If you have listed 3 people from the department, never mail all the 3 people at the same time.
Also, mailing on Mondays is not recommended.
3 people, 3 countries, and 1 long Zoom call. This is the Accidental PhDs, where 3 PhDs talk about research, science, grad school, and everything in between.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Accidental PhDs. I'm Karthik from University of Potsdam, Germany. So in this episode, we'll be talking about how to draft an email when you're approaching a professor for a PhD position.
And I'm Alok from Comenius University. So in the first episode of this series, we talked about the difference in PhD positions between US and Europe. And in second episode, we talked about how to find PhD positions. In third episode, we talked about how to draft a CV.
Yeah, so in this episode, we'll be discussing in detail about how to draft a good email to apply for PhD positions, to approach your supervisors, approach potential supervisors. So it is very crucial that this is the first piece of thing that a supervisor is going to read from your part. So it should be well written and well structured. So after this episode, you will have an idea about how to prepare a good email so that you have higher chances of getting hired for a PhD position. So let's dive into the episode.
Okay, so there are 2 ways in which you can approach a professor. First one is you can either write a short email and then attach a letter of motivation with it, or you can write a long email with everything in it and you can skip the letter of motivation part. So the first thing while emailing is which email ID you are using to email them. If you have an institute email address where the domain is from an institute or from a university, always use that to mail professors. It gives credibility to your email and to your application. And yeah, if you have an option, don't use @gmail.com or any Gmail ID. Always use your institute ID. But if you don't have access to any institute ID or if your university doesn't have a domain of their own, then of course you can use Gmail. But university one is always preferred.
So let's start discussing about the structure of an email. The first thing that you have to do is the subject line. So in an email, the first and important part in which the professor is gonna read that subject line in their inbox. So it is that subject line which catches the professor's interest. So it should be catchy, it should be short, it should be to the point that what you are trying to express in your email. So you should not generally write like PhD inquiry or something like that, but you can specifically mention that like expression of doing research or PhD in this specific topic, like climate change, or the specific topic that professor is interested, or the specific project that it is interested. But it should not be lengthy, it should be short also.
So let's start with the salutation. So never ever use respected sir. You have to write dear and the name of the professor, let's say Dr. XYZ, something like that. Okay. So let's start with the first paragraph where you will be introducing yourself, where you will be writing your name, college name. With the college name, you also have to put the link of the college, the department name, and in which year you are. Like, let's say if you are doing masters, you can write I'm currently doing masters, and if you have completed it, you can say like I have completed it, and then you have to mention that why are you mailing to that professor.
Yeah, in the first paragraph itself, introduction plus what is the purpose, right? That is the second. The last line should be what is the purpose of mailing. I'm mailing this because I'm inquiring about a PhD position, whether you have in your lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting a link is also a good idea because sometimes the professor whom you are emailing, he might not know about your institute. He might not have that information. So if you put a link, it gets credibility to your institute. So now coming to the second paragraph. In second paragraph, you mention your interest. In what topic are you interested in what project of that professor or in what field of that professor are you? Maybe the professor would be working in many fields. Always be specific that, okay, I'm interested in this field and I want to work on this topic, or I read this paper of yours and I found this very interesting and I would like to continue on this. Be specific and clearly state your interest in second paragraph.
So in the third paragraph, we have to justify why we are a good candidate for this specific project. So in the second paragraph, as Karthik mentioned, we have mentioned that I'm interested in this work. Now we have to justify why we are capable of doing it. So that means show your experience. Start with your master's thesis. So you can mention that I'm currently working on this project. I'm working on this topic, and I'm working with this supervisor on this specific topic. You can even mention, if you have published a paper on that, mention that this work has resulted in a publication, and you can provide the link or a DOI number over there. Then you can again give an explanation, or a detailed or a concise way, the experiences that you have. Explain the experience, all those experiences. That means you should not write like CV. In CV, you have explained everything in detail, but here you don't have to do that. In one single line, or one or two sentences, or one sentence, explain all the internships that you've done. Keep it concise, that I've worked here on this topic and worked here in this topic, and like that. Everything should be concise.
So you can mention that you have worked on this certain kind of instruments that are going to be used in PhD program. So that will say like you are experienced, you know these things. So you don't have to learn there when you go there. So you can directly start working on that.
Yeah, this experience of instruments is really preferable in Europe. If you have already worked with those techniques, they would really prefer you, because here they don't have time to teach you all those things during PhD, because PhD.
Also, you can mention the supervisor's name if that person is quite famous in the field, so that you can mention that I've worked under him, so that these names will catch the attention of the person who is reading the mail.
Also, you can attach a project report link if you haven't attached it in the CV. Also, if you have attached in CV, you can write that if you want to see the project report, if you want to see the full report, what I've worked on, you can check the link in my CV, or you can also attach a link there too and ask them if they want to check your full work. That would also be good.
So you can even split this into two paragraphs, in which one you can detail about your master's thesis, and in the next paragraph you can detail about the all other previous research internship experiences.
So in the next paragraph, you should connect your research experience with the project you're applying for. You have mentioned what experiences do you have, and you know what things you're interested in for that professor or in that lab. You have to connect both of them. You can just say that, okay, I have experience in this topic, which I think would also be used for your project. Or if you have some specific skills, you should just try to look for links and convince them more that, okay, you would be a right fit for your project. You can just say that through these experience, I've honed my skills in this, and I'm good in this, and I think this would be really helpful for this project. Something like that.
So towards the end of the email, you should always keep the email in an open-ended way. You should always close the email in an open-ended way, so that you should ask the professor for a potential meeting for discussing about the position that he has. So it will give an impression that this guy is really serious to it, and he or she is interested to have a discussion with him, so that both of them will get to know each other of their interest and their needs.
Discussion with him or her.
So in the final paragraph, you can just include all those things, that you are attaching CV, you are attaching cover letter for the reference, so that he can know more about you, and you can write that you are looking forward to work under him or work with him, and then you can write thank you for the consideration, and you can just simply write sincerely and your name, designation, email, phone number, so on. So
yeah. Also, before clicking the send button, verify that you have attached all the documents that you have.
yes.
Up.
Yes,
Also,
and read email twice or thrice before sending it. Like just check everything, whether you have written professor's name correctly or not, and whatever information you have given, that is correct or not, and then only you have to send it.
Also, I have heard professors or people who are saying that you may copy the name of the professors from their website and paste it here in the email.
Yes.
So there will be a difference in the font style and font color and everything, and you don't even change that. So the people who read this, they know that this happens because you copied from the website. So they will think that this person doesn't have the time to change the style and font size. Then why should that means he or she is not responsible enough to join the lab. So never do such things. Everything should be in a same style, same font. Everything should be homogeneous.
And if you are sending emails to so many professors, then you have to change the interest and the project when you are discussing all these things, how your research matches with the specific project. There you have to change. Then only you can send it. Otherwise, again, the professor will be thinking like he is not that interested. He is just he will understand that you are copying
He's just
your mail.
mass mailing everyone because
Yes,
the
yes,
topic
yes,
is
yes.
not that specific to the work that
It should be convincing. It should be convincing. So that comes from that paragraph.
I will add one more thing. Some people use mail trackers. I would suggest never use mail trackers. There are these third-party agents in which you can track the mail of whether the professor is opening your mail or those things. One problem with using mail tracker is that it's a third-party agency. So some professors will have automatic blocking. They will automatically block all these mails which has the third-party agency in it. That means while you are trying to get an idea whether the professor is opening your mail, the mail is not even reaching the person because you're adding a third party agency in your mail. So never use that. Also, some people get an idea that this person has attached a third party software or something into this mail. So he will see that, okay, this guy want to know how much time I have opened his mail. And I'm not going to even open his mail. So that will create a negative impression that, okay, I'm not going to open the mail. So never use all those things. Just be plain and do never try to see how much time he's trying to open your mail and read your mail.
Don't try to outsmart him.
Yeah, they're smarter than you. That's why they are professors or scientists.
But if you are not getting reply, then you can send a reminder, maybe after 5 days or maybe after a week.
Yeah.
I will recommend at least 2 reminder.
I would say let's wait for 15 days. Then if you're not getting, or maybe a month, depends on how much time.
It depends on the deadline and everything.
Yes.
Also, I would say that if you are, especially in US, if you are applying to a department, if you have listed 3 people from the department, never mail all the 3 people at the same time. You should prioritize one guy or one person and mail him or her. Then wait for the response, give a reminder, and if you get a response, a negative response, then go to the next person. If you don't get a response within 2 weeks, then also you can go to the next person. You should not mail like, okay, everyone in the department together, mailing everyone. These people know each other. They even discuss about what are the applicants they are getting. That's true. They are not like different individuals. They discuss about this one student from France applied or one student from India applied. He's doing this. They really discuss all these things. So never do that.
Yes. And then again, you will be changing the topic. And you'll be writing to other professor. They will be discussing like this guy has.
I'm really interested in this period. Here, I'm really interested in course of chemistry.
Your interest will change with every professor.
Yeah, but to get reply, there could be 2 criteria. Like sometimes what happens, the professors are in leave, or if they have field work, they are in field work for maybe 1 month, so they take time to reply. Other thing is like there are professors, they are getting so much emails. So sometimes what happens, your email goes to down, and then they do not have time.
Yeah.
So that's why sending reminder is good.
Yeah.
So that it will come again at top.
That's really true. I mean, for me also, while applying the lab that I've joined, like these professors, sometimes they are not replying to you because they are not interested, because they are busy. Maybe they're in a conference or something. So just give a reminder. I gave the reminder and then I got the position basically after 1 week. So it's not like that. Also, the time that you're mailing, keep in mind that they are in a different time zone. So never mail. Maybe you should never mail at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. or something, which is the 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. of that country, which is like the final hours of the office time. You can mail at midnight. It's fine because they will open it in the morning. But the best time I would say is that early morning.
Early morning is good.
Yeah.
9 or 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You can just schedule it. You don't have to mail it. You can draft mail and schedule it that it will be automatically sent at that time.
Yeah.
Also mailing.
I think most of the professors, they whenever they go to office, they first check the email, and the timing is like 9-10, like that.
I think also mailing on Mondays is not recommended. On Mondays, professors' emails are usually flooded with many emails. Saturday, Sunday, people would have mailed him, and he wouldn't have the opportunity. So it's better to mail on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
Not on Saturdays and Sundays.
Never on Saturday and Sundays, and try to avoid on Monday too. Like you can just mail on the other 4 days of the week.
So also for US application, if you are mailing for US application, you should start mailing. Like the PhD application deadline will be in December and January for the application to the next year. So for the admission to the next year. So if you want to join in a US university in 2026, the class starts in August to 2026, but for the application will start, or the deadline will be on 2025 December or 2026 January. For that application window, you should start mailing at least on August 2025, so that you have enough time to get rejected and mail a different person, make an interview with this person and all those things. So while mailing, especially in US, start mailing very early. You should not mail to a program which has a deadline on December and start mailing on December or November. They will never look into those mails.
So in the next episode, we'll be discussing about letter of motivation or statement of purpose and how to draft it in a good way. So until then, keep watching our videos and see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.